Hello, thanks for joining us. Today, we want to talk about grief. I'm Brittany Maxwell. I have my license in marriage and family therapy.
I'm Becky Rowlett, and I have my PhD in developmental psychology, and I'm a licensed professional counselor.
So, Becky, what do you think the experience of being human and grief is like?
Grief is something that we all experience, and it's important to recognize that with love comes loss, and nothing can fill that hole when you love someone or an animal. So, important things in remembering grief would be to just allow a person to feel
Mm.
and to listen. I think a lot of people or clients come in and they have the whole Kubler-Ross thing in their mind. And I'm like,
You're referring to the stages
five
of
stages
grief.
of
Yeah,
grief. Yep.
yeah.
So, they're like, well, I'm in the bargaining stage, or I'm in the accepting, or I'm in the anger stage. And Kubler-Ross designed these stages for people that were terminally ill. Grief has ebbs and flows. There's no set timeline. And in supporting someone, a helpful thing to say is like, rather than saying, how are you? Like saying, how are you feeling today?
Mm.
Trying to make it, trying to narrow it down,
Hmm.
um, and avoiding judgments or comparing, like we talked about when it comes to supporting a loved one.
Sure. So, in the five stages of grief is interesting, right? Because it's just one way to conceptualize what to do with all of this. But the idea is that at any given time, we are all feeling through the grieving process anger and bargaining and
Mm-hmm,
acceptance and sadness and those sort
mm-hmm.
of things. So, when someone is grieving and that wave is hitting them, what are some of the things that you give as a tool to kind of self soothe or address that?
I think the important thing is to, for some people, I've encouraged a tablet and writing to that loved
Mm,
one. Let's say that you've lost a parent or a partner, just keeping that connection alive because they'll always be a part of you anyway. And it is helpful to know, okay, there are different emotions that you will experience and mood swings that come with it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And keeping that, there's the grieving of losing that person or being, and the grieving of losing the role that they fulfilled in your life, right? And
yes.
finding a way to
Yep.
translate that into something that is still living or still continues. I like the idea of
Yes.
writing. I've even encouraged. I was seeing a little boy that was 4 when his father died, and they made just a little table in the hall with all his things, and they would just pass by and brush it with their hands or speak to it, and a way that his the role of his father was still participating in his life, and that his spirit in essence was
Yes.
still a part of the household.
Exactly. Honoring the person that is no longer there
Yeah.
and acknowledging it, whether it's having their favorite food on their birthday.
Hmm.
Um, or sometimes, I guess I've done the lamp that you light and floats off. Although with forest fires and things, I think I'd try something else now.
Yeah, so marking the occasion in some way
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other part too is just if it's going to be a tough day, allowing yourself that time to grieve
Yeah. Yeah.
because holidays will be hard because they're not the same. So, honoring the person by using the person's name, like acknowledging that
Hmm.
that person played a huge role in your
Hmm.
life and will always be present in your memory, in your life.
Oh, that's really lovely. I was just thinking about that oftentimes we think when someone is no longer living that we need to stop
Mm-hmm.
talking about that person or
Mm-hmm.
that that animal, that being, but that isn't the case. That it may be even more important than to continue that conversation.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yep. Honoring love, really,
yeah,
and the huge role that it plays in our lives.
yeah. Well, thank you for joining us talking about being human and grief. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.